Let me take this opportunity to welcome you to this very important training that is taking place today online, and where we have participants from across the country. And I can see those of the members on board right now, we are slightly over 8,000. And I think we can start our session. So I don't know if we can have a volunteer or somebody to pray for us before we do that introduction. Sam, can we have one person praying for us?
Yes, Duneta Hotiente, kindly can you unmute yourself? Go ahead.
Let us pray. Okay, Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this important meeting. As we want to start it, may you guide us, be with us throughout the meeting. We shall thank you at the end when your will is done. That's my short prayer, trusting and believing in Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. You can now mute. You can now mute Duneta. And thank you so much, Duneta, for opening for us this session with a word of prayer. And I think now we are good to go. Well, I don't know if the Deputy Director in charge of admissions, Dr. Grace Gatundu, is around so that she can actually welcome us officially. Dr. If you are around. Dr. Grace Gatundu, if you are around, please, you can welcome us officially. Okay, I don't know if maybe Dr. is still actually joining. Dr. Rodi from Kemi, if you are around, please, you can say something. Dr. Rodi from Kemi, if you are around. Yes, I can see Dr. is. Go on, go on. Dr. unmute and then you say something. Dr. Rodi. So it's like he must also been on the way, but he will be joining us. Welcome, team, for this very important session where I can see we are 100 participants so that we can actually hit 10,000 participants. Thank you, team, for joining this very important session. As I have actually mentioned that I will have training for career guidance and counseling, and this one is for teachers in all the primary schools, the junior schools, and the senior schools in Kenya. And we have our today's visitor so that we don't actually take a lot of time, so that we give him time to take us through. Our today's guest is Dr. Wafula Robert Wekesa. who is actually a lecturer in Kibabi University. And the Director Career Services, Kibabi University, and a specialist in career analysis. And allow me, team, to usher him in so that he can start our session. Karibu sana daktari. Karibu sana. Dr. Wafula.
So good evening, friends.
Good evening, daktari.
Yeah, I hope you can hear me. As you're told, my name is Dr. WAFULA Robert. I'm a doctor of educational psychology based in Kibabi University. I've been a director of career services for around 10 years in that office. But most importantly, I'm a trained career coach and mentor, level 6, with a diploma from ABMA UK and a specialized certificate in career screening from Milestones in India. But most importantly, again, is my own passion to interact with colleagues, students, and schools in mentorship at different levels. I think I may not be new to many of us here. We might have interacted in different fora in matters career. And I want to say that this is a new thing in the field. A career guidance is a vocation, is a career of its own, much as it can also be handled by people who have done counseling, guiding and counseling, or counseling psychology, but is a field that has its own foundation. And for those who may be interested, we have a College we have the College of Career Guidance and Development, CCGD, in Kenya. Is an online program for those who want to pursue beyond sensitization. We have that college in Kenya, and it offers certificates at diploma level. We also had a privilege recently. We've been working with ILO and UNESCO to work on doing a similar kind of a CPD program, continuous professional development program for TVETs in Kenya. They're in the process of doing a small module that can guide in the actualization of the Office of Career Services. So today, I'll be sharing with us on how to do an effective career guidance and counseling, how to implement that office, because I want to believe that in 2028, the Minister of Education then, I want to begin sharing, Dr. Amina Mohammed initiated an Office of Career Services to help in the management of career activities in Kenya. And now that is something that was given to us, and a good number of us may not be in a position to do much. We were given offices. Maybe you'll allow me to share. It's like there's a challenge. I want to begin sharing as we move on. Do I have the rights, Steve?
Yes, doctor, you have the rights.
Let me
That
see.
is why you are a moderator. Sam, from your end, please. And we had actually seen your screen.
Or maybe I did something. Let me begin afresh. Let me cancel and begin. I might have touched something wrong.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Fine. So I want to talk about effective academic and career guidance for our schools. And just an introduction, I want to say that as we move to the CBE curriculum, the game changer is actually our ability to identify and nurture the talents of our children. If we cannot identify talents, we will not be in a position to help our children. So I think the mantra is the ability of teachers to work around the clock so that we can identify what our children are competent in doing and helping them so that they can become their best version. The contrast is that at this time, we want to match our passion and our profession. Identifying becomes the role of the OCS and the nurturing. So it is a duty that we need to appreciate and embrace with a lot of gratitude. So I want to say that as we begin the journey, we need to understand we'll be having a few definitions to look at. One is career guidance, career counseling. But at the top, I want to look at the difference. What is a career and what is a job? So that as we look at those and endeavor to help the students, would be at ease to support them well. And I want to say a job is a short-term role or activity or a function you do so that you can earn an income. Anything you will do just for an income and you stop at it, you may continue or not, is what we call a job. But a career is a lifelong or a long-term professional journey that you build around with a desire to grow, around your passion and the desire to advance in life. So you realize that therefore a career is a vocation. It comes from the word vocere, which is a Greek word which means a calling. So a career is more of a calling because it is centered on your ability, is centered on your interests, and it is there aligning to your destiny. You are doing something that in the long run, you'll be remembered. So that is what we want to. So when you look at, I've done a small explanation of the difference between a career and a job. So we say a career in the definition is a long-term professional journey aligned with goals and passions. Like if I'm employed to do tuition, that can be a job. I tutor the children and I get my earning after finishing. But when I'm a trained teacher, I begin as an assistant teacher. I go on to be a senior teacher. I become a deputy, a head teacher or a principal, and maybe continue to be a CSO, an education officer at all ranks, until you move. Some of us can flow through the ranks and even become professors. So that is a lifelong journey. It becomes a vocation. You align your interests, you align your careers to your profession. As we say, specific role for income. Then the duration is that a career spans years or decades, including multiple jobs that you move on, as I've stated. But a job is just often short-term or temporary. The focus of a job, of a career, is growth, advancement, and fulfillment. You do your best. Even in your retirement, you know that you left a mark in the lives of people you're handling. But for a job, you want immediate financial satisfaction or needs fulfilled. A job in terms of, a career in terms of education and skills often requires specialized training or higher education. So you are a specialized training, a trained person, certificate, diploma, degree, master's, or PhD. But again, on the job, you may require just minimal specific skills. I may be very good in mathematics. I'm not a teacher, but I can still help someone to revise mathematics. So that becomes a job. I'm a tutor. I help. The scope is that a career is broad, covers multiple roles in a field. As I said, we have classroom teachers, head of department, senior teachers, deputies, and so forth. Even when you go to the medical, we have those who are treating, we have those who are in charge of particular specialists in terms of surgeon and so surgery and so forth. So those are careers, but in terms of jobs, can be narrow focused on one position or activity. The impact in a career, you build a reputation, a network, and a legacy. And that's why you see what Steve is doing, Choge, on behalf of the Kenya Management Institute. You are leaving a legacy because talking to 10,000 people at a go across the country, that is not something mean. That is a legacy that you are leaving in the annals of history. But for a career, for a job, you provide income, you get a short-term experience. So what we can say in a nutshell is that a career is about where you're going. A job is about what you are doing now for a living. So careers integrate multiple jobs into purposeful trajectory or purposeful destiny shaping. So that's why we are insisting on the element of helping our children identify who they are. Identifying who you are helps you not just to do something for the sake of salary. That's why you find that you go to a school, you'll find there are teachers who have a calling. They go an extra mile. Where people are fulfilling destiny, you go beyond just the routine or the calling. You want to leave a mark. You shape lives that even when you meet them later, you interact with them and they say, indeed, you influenced us. So that is a career teacher. But that one who is doing a job will just come and do a little of the assignment within the timetable. So friends, we have an assignment, we have an assignment as it were, that we want to see what are we doing to influence our students in the Office of Career Services. What is our role? We will be given an office. Some of us were given offices, we were given a title, and you're not given anything more to help you do. So you have to learn it through the hard way. So career guidance service involves organized activities and support systems that we establish to help our students understand themselves, explore career opportunities so that they make informed educational and occupational decisions, which eventually leads their choices of career. So, but it's anchored on guidance, is anchored on giving a lot of information. It is done a lot of information. Like I remember the last time we were at Kemi, we had people from COOPS, we had people from KICD. So when they come and talk to us about course requirements, KICD will talk about the curricula, maybe, and the universities. Like if we want a student to take medicine, we always tell a student in high school, you need mathematics, which is at the center of the career compass wheel, a language, and then the three sciences, that is physics, chemistry, and biology. That is information. Then the COOPS people will tell them, we are going to place you if you meet some particular qualifications, terms of scores. Maybe you need for medicine in Kenya, because we have few slots, you realize that we are going to take people with an A or an A minus, at worst a B plus. So you understand that besides the right subjects, there is also the expectation of the scores. And beyond that, COOPS will tell you now, again, it depends on how old the university is. The University of Nairobi wants 200 students in medicine, and we have 1,700 A's like last year. You realize that now they go for the highest students who scored the A, maybe with the 98, 99, 97, and they stop at the one who reaches the 200 mark. The remaining are left. So that is career guidance. We give information, we guide the students in terms of how to study. So these services are offered in school, colleges, universities, where we are community centers and employment agencies. They are designed to help learners and workers understand their interests, align them, abilities, values, and personality with suitable career paths. We'll talk about that. So career guidance is not just about choosing a job, but focuses on things like, one, personal growth, Are you going to do a job where you find you are likely to grow? What is the educational planning you need? What are the trainings you require, the costs and the time? And then it helps you later on to take a decision. What are the skills that will make you more employable? Career adjustments for those who are already desiring to move from one field to another. And I want to bring to your attention two great personalities. That is what we call career transition. We have Linus Kaikai. I know many of us know Linus. Linus is a lawyer, a journalist. But recently he graduated with law and went to do the School of Law. He was admitted as an advocate. So that is progression, transiting from one career or adding up skills. Johansen Odor, our government pathologist, again also did law. I think he wants to look at the legal issues and the medical issues because he deals with criminal, identifying DNAs and looking at murders. So it makes him rich. And that's what I want to make us know. Even as I talk to you as a teacher before you handle your students, you must know there is room for you to grow. You can also improve on yourself, make yourself better so that you serve better. So that is the role of career guidance. We advise you on what can you do in terms of career adjustment, progression, and lifelong learning. So what are the goals of this area? One is that career guidance help individuals understand their strengths. Sometimes you find a student saying, I want to be an engineer, and they are very weak in physics and mathematics. So again, we help them to appreciate the fact that success is not being an engineer. Success is being yourself and appreciating your talents. Or alternatively, you may not begin that engineering at a degree, but if that is your heartbeat, then you can do certificate, you do a diploma, and you go ahead to do it at a degree level, but it takes time. So provide accurate information about careers, training, and labor markets. That is the office that needs to be equipped. When students come to you, and that is what I've been belaboring before the coops closed the window. Like I had a very painful story of a student from a national school who got an A of 82 points, but a poor selection made him to be left out. So I had to belabor with him, help him in the second selection so that he can do something related to his field. His desire was a medical career. So he had missed on nursing, medicine, and he had missed on pharmacy, dentistry. But after checking through his strong physics, we realized he could find medical engineering. So we had helped him to do that. You provide accurate information. If you want to be a teacher, again, you realize that the employer insists on some specific qualifications. They say you must have scored a C plain in English and a D plus in mathematics for arts and a C plain in mathematics and English for sciences. So again, we provide information that helps you understand the demands of the labor market. We help one to make realistic career choices. Again, as you are choosing, you must choose basing on facts, verifiable facts. For those who are in senior school, I think some of us just look at a B and they think that somebody qualifies for nursing because they have a B. No, there is usually what COOPs will give you cluster points. You go to the portal, you print out the results of the student, and they have 20 clusters. Number one on the cluster is usually low. So as you look at those clusters, they guide you. If the university wants 40 and the student has 20, like I had a student who wanted to go to Kenyatta University to do education. Their cluster point was 24. Kenyatta wants 32, but the student went ahead to choose. So they were left out and they were crying. Is because they did not have the real information and they were not realistic in terms of understanding the requirements, confidence, and decision-making skills. So one of the things we empower students, beyond the academics, we need a good personality, somebody who can speak, who can communicate, and who is able to reflect, bring out the knowledge without carrying the papers. Because employers are not looking for papers, they're looking at the person. How do you express yourself? How confident, how honest are you? We prepare them for the world of work. We're not, and I want us to know that career is a lifelong process. I may not have given you a story, but we are told in France, there is a young man of 9 years who told the daddy in grade 3 that, daddy, when I grow up, I would want to become an engineer and invent my own car. So the father thought it's a little boy's story, but eventually he became a mechanical engineer and invented the Peugeot vehicles. So Peugeot is the name of the boy was Francois Peugeot. So he created the vehicle and named it after his name. So I want us to move from this mantra of trying to help students who are very old in life to choose. No, let's begin creating an environment that children and students can begin thinking of what they like doing, and we align them with mentors. The other principle is that, do you know anybody who is doing what you want? That is one of the weaknesses we have. If a child have a student who was in Moi High School, Eldoret, she had wanted to be a surgeon, and luckily the school took them to MTRH for a visit. So when that student went there that day, they had done an operation, a surgical operation on somebody's intestines, which were rotten. They had cut and then did a stitch. So she saw the rotten piece and the blood. She could eat meat for 3 days. And the fourth day, she said, I cannot be a doctor. So when she came back home and said, I no longer don't want to be a medical doctor, and then I want to be an engineer. So the parents were like, you can't be serious. That is a well-paying job. But she said, no, that is not the thing for me. So I think what we need to do, and I encourage, is that they are never too young. That's why I'm happy that I'm handling primary, I'm handling junior, I'm handling senior, and I don't mind even handling university because it's a lifelong. Somebody was asking me, how will you handle the 3 groups? They all have same needs, and I've had a chance to visit the outside world in the US to have a talk with the children in the other countries. I realize our needs are almost the same. So when we expose our children to mentors, if they want to be lawyers, let them go and see a lawyer doing the work, maybe a magistrate, and they will examine and see whether that is an interest that is anchored on truth and realistic expectation, or they are just cheated that this is something that earns you money. So mentors, we need to look for people who can come and talk to our students and mentor them and also expose them. That's why, like in Kibabi University, every Thursday is a day we do school mentorship program. Schools visit us, we talk to them. I have various mentors from different fields who talk to the students. And then we reduce unemployment and wrong career choices. So when somebody is doing a job they like, they are likely to do an innovation. Many times students come to my office and they are very happy. Like I had an instance of one who came very strong in sciences and physics and mathematics. And then he said, I want to be an electrical engineer. I said, wow, that's great. Who is your mentor? Luckily, he was being mentored by the father, who was also an electrical engineering, but he didn't understand the career much. Just followed the good side of the father's projection, like the office and the title. So then I said, wow, can you write for me 5 areas that you're going to be employed? Because there had just been a case of a student who was an A student, went to University of Nairobi, got a first-class honors in electrical engineering. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah. Am I okay? Yeah, so then I now said there's a first-class honor student who is stayed 2 years and is crying for a job. So where will you be employed? Write for me 5 places.
Daktari,
yes?
Yes, if you can actually share your screen again.
It's lost.
Yeah.
Sorry for that. I'm sorry. Sorry. Mm-hmm. Is it visible now? I'm sorry for that.
We can now see your screen.
Yeah, so I'm on point number 6, reduce unemployment and also reduce the issues of wrong career choices. So the student would only mention KenGen and KPLC. Then I said, well, can you write for me 5 places you'll be employed? Then he was like, I had not thought about it. And I told him that is one of the things you find. You have a first-class honors, but you really don't know what to do with your studies. You blame the university and other people, yet you did not tap into your passion. Eventually, he changed and is doing very well in computer science. So I'm saying that the role of our career guidance services is help students to position, align their interest and ability to careers where they can create even their own jobs and avoid wrong career choices. Because at the university, sometimes, like I have a case of a student whose colleagues graduated in our last year's graduation, and at that time he was moving back to first year to begin doing a different course. That is how serious it is. The parents have spent a lot of money. The student has been out of college. So when I asked him, do you love your career? He said no. So I had to help him. Now he's a first year, trying to move to second year, yet the colleagues have graduated. What is the scope of career guidance services? Which areas do we look at? One, our main interest is self-assessment services, and this you help as a student understand their interest. Of course, we have theories. That's why I said career is a profession. So there is a theory by John Holland. There are theories by Howard Gardner. The other career tests that we use. So they look at your interest, your ability, aptitude is terms of performance, personalities, and the values. Then from there on, we align what you are about, what you are supposed to do. It is not just an issue. Sometimes I had issues with parents or teachers who come and say, can you choose the best sub career for my child? Then I usually use a simple joke. I say, if I'm Faith Kipyegon, and you ask me today to choose for you the best career, I'll choose for you athletics, 5,000 meters, 1,500 meters. How many of you are able to run? Then they said, I'm not able to run. I say, now, is it because you are stupid that you can't run? No. That's why Albert Einstein said that a fish would die thinking it was born stupid if he thought climbing trees like monkeys is the best intelligence. So each one of us must know that God has created you with abilities to suit in a particular area. Find that area and you'll be happy. Don't struggle with your relatives, with your cousins and your friends to be like them. Be yourself. So the examples of career interest inventories, we have tools you choose. Like Holland has 6 areas we call realistic. Those who are practical in nature, doing things outside the field using tools. And then we have investigative, those who look at issues, analyze facts, play with figures, and they find out, do investigations who can be good, maybe CIDs. Then we have also those who are called artistic, those who are innovators. They can come up with innovations and they can do new things. They don't want to be limited on what they are thinking or doing. And then we have those who are social, doing jobs that are with the aim of helping others. You look at the best interests of the community, entrepreneurial. Are you a good marketer? Can you market your product? Can you sell it? And then conventional are those ones who follow careers that require procedures like finance, accounting, things like dentistry. You have a procedure on how to extract a tooth. We have a procedure on how to make a meal. So we look at those personality tests. Again, we have the outgoing. It usually begins with the outgoing and the reserved. So under the outgoing, we have sanguines. We call them temperament tests. Sanguines and melancholies, and cholerics. Sanguines are those who are jovial, outgoing, and easygoing. And then the cholerics are these managers, tough guys, result-oriented. The reserved, we have melancholies, organized, they love music, they love art and details. And the phlegmatics, who are very calm, cool, very balanced in their emotions and friends to everyone. So we look at that. Are you outgoing? There are jobs for people outgoing, and there are jobs for people who are reserved. Each one of us has a ground to bear. So I want to say, like today, I think Mbadi is reading the budget. If you are lucky to see what he's reading, there are times he reaches a place and calls back on some people to come and he asks them. Those are the people who are the think tank behind the budget. They have been staying in Harambe House for many years, for many weeks, planning appropriating the figures. So there are people you won't see in the front, but they control the world. Computer scientists, financial analysts, chemists will not be up here, but politicians and marketers. So we look at that. Educational guidance, number 2. So we look at understanding yourself, and then we come to educational guidance. You help learners make informed educational decisions. It looks at the career wheel on subjects that are covered. And I've given an example of areas like subject selection. What subjects will lead you to a particular area? What scores? So that you have the subject, you have the course selection, you have the colleges that are giving that, university, or even if they are schools. Now we have the issue of after taking your pathway. Am I STEM? Am I social science? Am I creative? Which are the schools offering that? And then eventually, even the universities, we have already started preparing for 2029 when we receive the CBE material, and then the scholarship opportunities. So like we have an example of guiding a secondary student on choosing sciences, arts, or technical subjects is based on strengths and career goals. And I have already said that COOP's guidelines on cluster points and cutoffs play an important role. So like now we have this career compass, STEM. You look at that STEM, they are saying STEM, they are trade or skilled paths for people like carpenter, plumber, welder. And in the line of those that are academic, you may have doctors, engineers, and lawyers who are academic path. So we're looking at them. Just STEM are those who are dealing with practical jobs. Those are just 3 examples. We have so many other science-related aeronautical engineers. We have not even mentioned them. We have gone the basic. These are the basic courses. But at the university, we have the engineers who are dealing with the issues of science, different levels of engineering. We have medicine. Then business. We have a business path, where we have guys who are dealing with all the fields like accounting, marketing, and so forth. Technical vocation path, where we have mechanic, ICT specialists, entrepreneurship paths, and then we have creative paths who are like the artists, the musicians, the designers, the computer designers, and so forth. So that is what we look at. But the old way is that as you identify, for you to identify the right career, one, you need to know your top interests, 3 of them. I've already given the John Holland, and then match them with the possible careers. What kind of careers would be suitable for me? And then look at what subjects do I need for this career, and then which universities or high schools do I need to join, what are the entry grades, and then who are my mentors who will help me walk through, what are the important skills that I need to possess so that I can be relevant on the market. So these are critical areas that we must always, so you provide an up-to-date information about careers and occupations, job requirements, salary expectations, training institutions, and employment trends. So we need to find out if students come to you, I'm doing this course, what are the opportunities? But guys, you people are lucky now. The internet is awash with a lot of information, unlike the old times when we had to have very few books. There's a lot of information. And there are places where we can get these kind of things. Schools are doing career fairs. We have career talks, occupational handbooks, labor market information sessions, like the National Employment Authority of Kenya. Those kind of things are there. So we need to look at that. There's a career wheel for the 844 that is outgoing. The 4th one is career counseling services, where we offer professional support to individuals facing career-related challenges to take decisions. Guidance can be done by anyone. I want to draw that line. Career guidance can be done by anybody who is informed, who is learned. But career counseling is a professional service that requires a trained counselor to take you through the choices, the kind of tools, and you choose what will be ideal. So the areas they address is what are like career confusion. A student comes to you and says, I've not been placed. Like the way I told you about the student with an A, 82 points, and said I've not been placed. But I applied, and my courses of choice, these universities, and I was not. So again, we had to go through, I looked through the cluster points. I went to the system to look at what the universities were looking for. Then we had to take a decision. Lack of motivation. Yeah, sometimes somebody is doing a course and they say, I don't think this course is taking me anywhere. So again, we have to do an exploration research. What will be the ultimate end of this course? After doing this course, where do I enter? What will be my end? Fear of failure, again. Career change decisions. You have somebody who has been doing a career and they feel they want to change or adapt some other related skills. Like those who are doing business, we encourage them to do CPA subject courses, the certified professional accounting. We also have other areas that you must do a professional like architecture. You need that. So you help them. And then what are the work related stress? Recently, I'm a student of trauma counseling. So we interacted with an international journalist who has been reporting wars and deaths. And they say they had reached a place where they had a burnout, and to them, life looked like it's only death. Everything looked very gloomy. So again, you find that there are stresses that go with particular jobs, and people need to be supported. So people also need to understand what it entails to be in a particular field, just like the student who looked at the wounds and said, I can't cope with this. It's a very good decision. Career counselors help clients make informed and realistic choices. The other career guidance service is placement. We help an individual to access education or employment opportunities such as internship, job placement, industrial attachment. You help them to look at where they can be attached. We liaise with the industry. We have the National Employment Authority. We have these employment associations. There are Kenya Employers of Employment Association. There are these KOTU and other in places where you can help them. We have graduate transition support where they do paid internships and attachments. So we need to coordinate and interact with the industry so that we connect our learners to that. Employability skill training, prepare individuals for successful entry into the workplace. Now we are deliberate. We are helping people learn how to write an official letter and a CV. You'd be surprised that over time, students are too busy with other things that they may not write a good official letter. So if we don't help them, they will lose their job, because if you write a lousy letter, people think you are not competent enough. So as the one in charge of that office, we begin helping our learners to learn about CV, curriculum vitae, putting down the achievements you've made in life. I passed activities in primary. You were able to identify what things you are doing. Am I a prefect? What skills am I learning as a prefect? If it is secondary, what did I score in primary? What are my skills? Interview skills. When you go for an interview and they ask you, tell us about yourself, you don't mention only your names. They are looking at what are your abilities and interests. So you ask me today, that's why I said my name is Dr. Wafula. But now the interest of why I'm here is because I'm a trained career analyst. I'm a trained career guide and mentor, and I have a passion. That is my introduction in relation to what I'm doing today. So interview skills require you to be relevant. Communication skills, again, how do I respond? I need to be short and clear. Leadership, teamwork, digital literacy. Again, now, each one of us must learn to operate a machine. We must struggle as teachers to have our own machine, either a smartphone, a tablet, or a laptop that can help you navigate with the students. I visited Nova Pioneer, and I found one of the lessons they have is career guidance. The one teaching explains and even guides learners on how they can apply jobs and schools abroad. Entrepreneurship, what are the opportunities of business that are aligned by every career? If I'm doing medical engineering, which business can I do in it? Maybe I can be a supplier of things like pressure machines, the thick gadgets that we have people maybe doing exercises. So that becomes medical engineering. And if I'm doing any other, so you identify what business can you do in your line, you help them. Follow up and evaluation. Track the progress and success of individuals after guidance. We need to follow up. And I know most of us will do what we call academic guidance. Those who are not doing well, follow up. Are they improving? Which areas have they improved? Where are they still struggling? Assess the effectiveness of the guidance program, monitor career progress, and identify emerging issues. Example, the other thing we need to do is to track our alumni. Where are they working? Are they being employed early, or are they taking too long? And then we get their feedback. What do they think if we gave them will make them to be employed faster, and so on? And employers, what do you tell us about our products? If I'm from a college, even high school, we need feedback. The primary schools that gave our students to high school should follow up on how our students doing. When they have left high school, they will need to follow up colleges and graduate surveys. And then personal and social adjustment services. Career success is connected to emotional and social well-being. So you look at self-esteem, the value you give to yourself. We need to raise the confidence of our people. Time management. How do we manage time? Because time management is life management. Peer influence. How do you navigate? How do you stand assertive that you are not influenced by friends to do everything they are doing? Stress management, things that frustrations. Work-life balance. How do you balance life and work? And then special needs, career guidance. We have persons with a disability. So vulnerable learners, again, gifted students and marginalized groups. How do you support them who come from that kind of things? So one is that the career guidance will reduce career mismatch, improve academic performance, enhance productivity and job satisfaction, help students make informed decisions, and then promote national human resource development. You're promoting workers for the country and beyond, and helps individuals to adapt to the changing job markets. There's a lot of changing from manual to flexi work programs on phone. So career guidance services help in make individuals discover their ability. They make informed educational and occupational choices so that they can transit to meaningful careers. And this one begins from the primary, the pathway, grade 6. You should now know, are they good at arts? Are they good at STEM? Are they good at creative and sports? So we need, and social sciences, we need to help that. What is the step of, what are the steps? What steps do you need to do when you want to conduct an effective career education program? One, needs assessment, identify the career needs. What are the issues that our students require? Are they in need of study habits? Are they in need of how to identify career paths? Are they in need of how to perform? Maybe they have selected the subjects, but they're not doing well. Collect information through questionnaires. Maybe you give questionnaires to them and then you establish. Then after identifying the needs of your students, depending on their level, if they are in the colleges, we know those are for employment, so we prepare them for the market. Then setting goals and objectives. Define what the career education activity intends to achieve. If I'm doing a career day, what is the need of the career day? And I want to advise, sometimes I've been to high schools, like I think next week we'll be doing a career day at St. Peter's, Mumias. There are times people would just invite people and tents and brochures. So you have invited 50 colleges, everybody's given 2 minutes to read about the courses they are giving and they move. But at the end of the day, the students have not been talked to. The learners have not been focused on an issue. So that's why I advise them to have a theme and somebody, one or two people who will give keynote address on specific things you want to achieve. Like St. Peter's are talking about navigating the challenges of the 21st century career field and education. So we look at what are the technological disruptions that are coming, and how do the students now align themselves to that. From there on, now we allow colleges to talk. Otherwise, it just becomes a place of selling brochures, but it does not address the issues of students. Objectives should be clear and learner-centered. Then planning the activities. Career talks. Is it a career talk? Is it a mentorship program? Again, we have also been flooded by people who are called motivational speakers. I was talking to students of a national school recently, and they told me, no, most of those things we go there to sleep. This is a girl who had wanted to do nursing, but did not understand even the subject. So when I was asking, why didn't you focus on the requirement? Said, our school just was bringing motivational speakers, and what they tell us how they suffered and now they're enjoying. So when they come, we just know what they're about to say, but if you don't go, you are beaten. So there are those guys who are called motivational speakers. Some, at least they can address issues that relate to academics. Others just comedy, entertainment, and we are done. But we need mentorship programs where we are bringing a lawyer to address the students who want to do law. We have a doctor to talk to the students about the line of medicine, or a career guide who is versed in this area, maybe from COOPs, from other places where the people are training, like universities. We can share with students what are the trends, what are the required things. Career fairs. We talk to you like I usually do. This year I had a career fair, and we are talking about navigating the technological disruptions and creating wealth through our 21st century knowledge. So we had speakers for every school. School of Education had an educationist, a renowned one, who talks to them about opportunities. We had nursing with a specialist. We had the School of Business, people who are in the industry, social services and social sciences, research for Faculty of Science. So career fairs are focused, department focused, where you have people who talk to the students relevant things. Job shadowing, they are tied to someone to guide them and learn how to do things. Career counseling and skill training workshops, we've said that. Prepare timelines, budgets, and so forth. Identify and organize human, financial, and material resources. So when you're organizing for a career day, again, you need the people. Who are the people you need to facilitate and support? What are the financial implications? Facilitation. Do we need projectors? Do we need a hall? Do you need what? And then involve teachers, counselors, employers, alumni, professional parents, and others. Preparing the learners, orient students on the purpose and the expectation of the activity. So again, you tell them we are going to have a career, and this is what the speakers are going to address. So listen to what they are doing, write down, and then also if there are questions, let's explore them. Implementation, conduct the planned career education activity, ensure active participation, proper coordination and supervision, where we even take the roll call of participants so that at the end of the day, you evaluate the impact from attendance. Observe how the activities are progressing. You move from one room to another, and then assess whether the objectives were achieved. At the end of the day, what did we want to achieve in this? We find out, did we have MOUs that were done and so forth? Follow up, provide continued guiding and counseling after the activities. Like I had people who were talking about drugs, and I then had to enroll my students to begin learning clubs that they can deal with helping others to stop issues of drugs. That is follow-up. And then documentation and reporting, you write a report indicating the areas covered, the attendance, and way forward. So for you to organize a good career day for a school, college, or a high school, as junior or secondary, identify students' career interests or needs. What do they need? Are they the ones who need to be guided on pathways, how to study? Set objectives for exposure to professions. Invite professionals from fields like medicine, engineering, depending, and then prepare a schedule, time, and venue. Conduct the event. Evaluate the feedback. They can write back to you. What do they think they acquired? Do they need more of that? And then follow-up sessions for counseling. If the areas that they needed to follow up is okay. Then career counseling for schools, the meaning. As I said, guidance is providing information. Counseling, where trained professionals guide students in identifying their ability, interests, and values to align them with the suitable career paths. So this may take in assessments. We give some assessment tools, discussions, focus group discussions, and you help the learners to again align their interests and avoid the issue of just fantasizing. So it is not only to choose a career, but also to foster self-awareness, for confidence and adaptability in the changing of the job market. Career counseling in schools is vital because it helps the students understand their strengths, interests, abilities, and the realities of the job market. So again, like the reality about nursing and the teaching, especially arts subjects like English literature, history, CRE, is that we are saturated. Even the deans have been called by the ministry recently and been advised to look at other ways. So now those are realities. We tell our students, can you now look at other things? We have so many nurses. We wanted them to go abroad. But again, you look at other countries, people are telling people to go back to their countries. So we may have nurses that are excess. So we need to look at alternatives. So when people have been counseled to do what they like, it reduces anxiety. They become motivated academically, and it helps them to be prepared for employability. Importance of counseling, self-awareness development. Students learn their strengths, weakness, interests, which helps them make realistic career choice. So again, a student must know from their performance, from their passion, what do they think they will become. And I always tell them, career success is not about what course you are doing. There's no better career in life. It is always about your ability and your strength. When people do what they like, they will excel. That's why you have people who may look like they never did very great careers, but they are doing better than those we thought have careers. So again, do what you're good at, what you'll be happy to do and enjoy. Informed decision making. Counseling prevents impulsive or peer influence choices by exposing students to diverse career options. I did a study, I think 2021, on the determinants of career selection in schools. And I realized much of it is influenced by teachers, parents, peers, or the privileges that go with the career in terms of fame, the salary. And I followed up to note that those who do careers they are not happy eventually have a very deformed personality. They are not happy. So that is it. We need to help people to do what they will be happy to do. Career early planning aligns academic subjects and extracurriculars with the long-term career goals. I had a student who wanted to do computer science and they never did physics. They did biology and chemistry. But now COOPS had put, with lack of physics, the cluster point is 0, 0. Cluster 7, it was there for computer science. So if you didn't do physics, you find you have 0, 0. So you find somebody becomes very heartbroken, but there's nothing you can do. Nowadays, we don't have things like uh, what we used to call bridging. They are not there. And another thing that is killing people is also mathematics. When you don't do well in maths, you find like in the 844, the cluster subjects go very low. So we advise students to try and get an average grade of a C minus and above in maths, or else it really destroys their career path. Soft skills training. You train them on communication, teamwork, and critical thinking, which are important for employability. Just even how to dress. Some of us have been used to very casual dressing, and you want to go with a jeans and a t-shirt for interview, you may lose it because they would want you to have formal dressing. And formal dressing, again, doesn't require very shouting colors. Good colors for interviews are navy blue, gray, and black to some level. Never put on a red tie because it signifies authority and power. So people who, when you come to an interview with a red tie, it means you are not somebody who will submit. You're controlling. Somebody may not tell you that, but they can rule you out on that. Stress and anxiety reduction provides emotional support, helping students cope with the pressure of future decisions. So when we help them to be talked to by people who are in the market, they understand challenges and how to cope with them, and it reduces pressure. Sometimes we have had suicide, we had other things because people are losing hope. Market awareness. You keep the student updated on emerging career skills in demand. So, like those who are doing marketing now, it will be ridiculous if you're doing marketing and you're not good on online, because good marketing is electronic commerce. You buy things from the US online and you distribute without a go down. So you need awareness of what does the market require now. Goal setting, we encourage realistic short-term and long-term planning. Again, we don't want people to die looking for S. If you're an A student, get it. If you are a B, get your B, but balance your cluster. You do the career, because at the end of the day, in a degree class, you don't care whether you hold a C plus or a B or an A. And from my experience, the 2024 academic year, the best student that we awarded was a B minus student who had 308 marks from our day school. So again, it's not about struggling just for grades. Struggle to be good in a cluster, above average, and then work hard. Improved academic performance. Students with clear goals are more motivated to excel in school. That is what I do sometimes. I come and help students in personal management, personal discipline, how to do things on your own, teamwork, how to work with your teachers, and you find it helps them to change from poor performance. A table of the summary in terms of the benefits of counseling. One we said is it helps in self-awareness, where the student understand their strengths, abilities, and performance. They are able decision making. They avoid impulsive or peer-driven choices. They are not being influenced by peers, parents, or even teachers. You remain firm on your interests. Early planning, you help the children to understand the subjects they need to do and the performance so that they align. And then soft skills, what will make you be more employable. And I want to reiterate this, that today in the market we are living, you cannot live with one degree alone. You need to have a degree, but other short skills, skills that will help you. If you are a teacher, you need counseling skills. You need other maybe IT skills in terms of teaching. So nobody is going to survive on one degree. Have a degree, yes, but then look for other skills that will make it more relevant. Like if you are doing business, you must also do IT. You must do accounting and other courses, professional. Then stress reduction, less anxiety about the future. When people have been helped to understand their paths, they are not very heartbroken and fearful. Market awareness, what are the emerging careers? Some careers are dying because of technology. We have, like the hospitality industry is under threat from the AI, the robots. There are hotels in Japan that are fully managed by robots. The robots cook, robots clean, robots supply food, and they do everything. We had careers like tour guides. With the coming of the Google Maps, a tour guide is not relevant anymore. Just recently, one hospital in Kenya, I don't know, it was Moranga, they successfully did a surgical operation through AI. The lead surgeon was in France and was collaborating with another helper in Moranga and the patients. So you find that surgery could be done effectively abroad. Autopiloted aeroplanes, you find that there are planes that you set for 3 hours, it goes by itself. So you don't need very many people. Even cars, I'm told there are now new cars on the market. They call their auto, they have a co-driver. So ikifika mahali gari inatingika tingika, ni kama umechoka na inakataa kuwaka, inakwambia rest for 30 minutes na inajilock. It waits for 30 minutes ndio iamuke. So technology is changing even as we train people for career. Most of the mechanics must now be IT related. Nyundo, magari ya kupiga na nyundo yameanza kupungua. Most of the vehicles you scan to understand where the problem is and you fix. Career satisfaction, long-term success and fulfillment. Yeah, now we come to challenges in school implementation. We have limitations. Some schools lack trained counselors. Yeah, we don't have many career counselors who can help us. Societal pressure, students may face expectations from parents and the community that conflict with their interest. And I've always seen that parents saying, I will not pay fees if we are not going to do education until we have to intervene and help. Then, especially in rural areas, access to professional guidance is limited. Now we are left with motivational speakers who will speak to us. They say they began their poultry farming with feathers or one egg. Those dramas, and those are the only ones we are looking into. What are the steps of doing a career counseling? One, as a student comes, you help them sit down, build a rapport. Karibu sana, how are you? Feel relaxed. So you give them a chair, they sit down. Kindly let me know who you are, what are you doing, in which year are you? I'm happy to have you, feel free. I'm here to support you, whichever area you require. Then that is when now you identify the client needs. There are places you can give them forms they fill in, and you look at the form and see the need. Maybe I'm saying I need to be guided on this, which can be career confusion, subject selection, jobs dissatisfaction, lack of motivation, transition from school to work. They are worried about that. So as a counselor, now this is a behavior counselor, you need to be friendly. You need to really try and be, your office is where students can come in freely and interact. And when they come in, they feel you give them assurance. Always assure them, we are happy to have you here, please. Feel free to share with us any information and it will remain with us unless you allow us to communicate to anyone. Confidentiality. Then now, what do you think I can do with you today? I would wish to support you where I can. You can't say everything, anything, and I will do. Don't say that. They may tell you things that are beyond your focus. Maybe they have no money, and you've said, say anything I will do. Are you going to pay for them the fees? So just say I will do what I can within my ability to support you. Assessment and data collection, you can use interviews. You can ask them questions. They can have questionnaires they feel, interest, inventory, aptitudes, personality assessments. Now, if you want doing assessment to understand maybe careers, they say they are confused with what they are doing and you want to know what they can do, you give them tests. Career information, you say that you want to move from this area. Like a student comes and say, now I've been told that education is the only place I can get a job. That's what I hear. I saw a student wanting to move from computer science to education. And I said, he said, my parents said, if I do this thing, I never get a job. So then that means that student does not understand much about computer science. And I would advise us now, even as a counselor, then you must have what we call virtual board of directors, friends and advisors you can call from every department. Actually, your management board, we call it a board of advisors. You need specialists from every department. If it's a TVET, you will not know everything about maybe hospitality, engineering, electrical, nini. So you need an advisor, academic advisor from each. So under this, you can say, I want to pair you with a specialist from this area who would work with you and explain to you the opportunities available in this area. Then you will list them down, come back to me, give me feedback, whether you feel you still need to change or you are satisfied, you now want to settle because you have understood the career better. So that helps you to partner with other people who will also, and you tell them, that's why usually before we open a new academic year, have a meeting with academic advisors. It is upon them. If students come and transfer all of them from your department, then you also become redundant. So you should convince them the opportunities that are there until they remain. So you provide careers and occupation training opportunity, universities and colleges, high school, labor market trends, what is happening in the labor market in that line, Job requirements and qualifications and different career options, you explore them. Then you set a goal. The client is guided to evaluate alternatives and make realistic career choices. Like I had a student who was not sure whether to do social work or criminology. So I told them, now I want you to go to the internet and put in the engine, search engine, career opportunities in social work, and then also career opportunities in criminology. Entrepreneurial opportunities in social work, entrepreneurial opportunities in criminology, and then maybe scholarships like that. So you do that, then akaja akaniambia, nimeona hii, nimesoma hii, naona iko na nyingi zile mimi napenda, so I will go for this. Avoid telling people this is the best. Avoid giving prescriptions. Yours is to help people because you will not be a specialist in every area. So you don't become biased, or you don't tell them to move and come to an area where you know better. No. Help people to be the best in their line by guiding them to explore. So yours is to help them to go and explore. They come with the information. I tell them, I'm giving you 2 days to go and explore this area. Then after that, come back. Let's go through. Let's discuss through. And then after that, now you just ask them question. What do you find? Which one do you think is okay? Which opportunities do you think will help you? And then that is developing an action plan together. Is like a practical plan is by showing steps, require training or education, timelines, resources needed, possible challenges, and so forth. That could be maybe those who want to go to colleges, you're helping them to know that if you want to do medicine, you must know you will be away for 7 years. 5 years training, one internship, another attachment like that. And that is, and the costs are as follows. Then you follow up and do that. So the summary of that process is the rapport building, which is very important. You must build trust. You must be approachable. Identify the needs or the problems. Assess if the need be. There are those we can look at and advise. Career exploration and information sharing, goal setting and decision making, action planning, implementation, and then follow up and evaluation. What are the career counseling needs that we have? One, just students understanding who they are. And that is a big need. I've seen even grown-ups. One time I was doing a training to principals of Trans Nzoia County. And I made a simple joke and said, how many of you are teachers by choice? Around less than half lifted their hands. And I said, now you guys, the remaining around 60%. How did you find yourself in this field? Oh, the parents told us if you don't do this and that, you will not. So you realize that the issues of understanding people self is a low lifelong. So self-understanding becomes the best thing. We must always help our students, and more so students we are dealing with who come from very distorted backgrounds. They are not well brought up. They are not confident of themselves. The moment you help them to anchor, to know that there's something good out of them, you find the performance goes up. Career information. Students require accurate information about different careers and professions. What are the subjects? Entry requirements, training institution, job opportunities, salary expectation, and labor market trends. That is very important to every student that comes to you. Educational planning needs. Subject selection. Which subjects do I require to do law? Mathematics, language, religion, history, and maybe geography or any technical. Then what are the universities available? And then you begin with the oldest university with the highest qualification as you come to the next one. Selecting colleges, I also want to be very honest that every student wants to go to Nairobi region, and Nairobi region cannot absorb very many, so they lose out their courses. But they should know that all the colleges we have been accredited, so therefore whatever courses they are giving, they are acceptable. When they are being employed, you are not asked, did you train in Nairobi? No. It's about, did you train, fulfill your requirement? So we need to share with the students about that, understanding the requirements, and then planning for further education. What are the requirements in your course? Like you have done law. I will not practice law until I go to the School of Law for another 2 years. So that becomes an important information. Decision making. Many students struggle with making career choices. They need support in one, evaluating alternatives, setting realistic goals, making informed decisions, solving career-related dilemmas. So I'll always tell them, from baby class, what have you been saying when I grow up I want to become? Then they give me 4 areas that you feel if you did, you at least you have an idea. And I always tell them, like high school, don't put any third and fourth choices of things you don't know because you say, I know they will not reach there. You always find that what you put there, number 4, you thought nobody will reach there, and that is what they have given you, and you start crying. So they need to be realistic in what they are choosing, to choose things that at least, if they are given, they can still do. Then a transition needs for students who need, when they are moving from primary to secondary school, again, how it is life. Now we have transition from elementary to junior. And when you land in junior, you're supposed to choose your pathway. We really need to help them to make very informed choices from junior to senior. What kind of pathways do I take? Which schools, college, and what kind of subjects and career eventually do I need? What kind of support do I need and mentorship? Skills development. We need to help our students to know how to communicate. Communication is very critical. According to Vygotsky, one of our social psychologists, he says that language is a reflection of the mental capability. If you want to know somebody's ability, you listen to their communication. If they articulate things well, you're always tempted to think that they are good in their subject. If they speak like they are not very good communication, they bring doubts. Leadership skills, how you manage yourself, interview skills, CV and job application, problem solving when there are challenges, how do you deal with it, time management. And again, now the challenge we're having is that people don't know how to respect order at a workplace. You want and call your boss, sasa jamaa, vipi mazee. So again, we train our young ones to know what is the workplace culture in terms of language, hierarchy. You don't wake up and ignore your boss and go and talk to the MD of a smallish. Motivation and confidence needs. There are students who come from very weak backgrounds. They feel they are not good. So when you give them reassurance, help them to identify their abilities and encourage them, you find eventually they pick up the confidence, the resilience, and attitudes, and they do well. If there are those with special needs, then again we have adaptation of the environment, supportive workplace, accommodation, and devices that can help them. Social and emotional needs. They may face peer pressure. You need to support them. Family influence. Maybe at home, parents are not doing well together. Stress, anxiety, identity confusion. Uh, Career counseling helps them cope with emotional and social pressure affecting their career choices. Then employment preparation, job search techniques. We now need to help our learners to navigate through the internet where they can find out jobs through joining LinkedIn and other online recruitment. Entrepreneurship opportunities within every work, internship, and then what are the workplace ethics and so forth. Examples of career counseling needs in schools: Form 4 students who are unsure about university courses. We need to share with them. A learner choosing science or art subjects, they are at a crossroad. A student with excellent talent in sports or music needing career direction. Yeah, again, sometimes we have told them you're wasting time. Can you go and read? No. You need to support them to balance the talent and career. Students facing pressure from parents to pursue a certain profession that they're not happy. And a graduate who is in need of job readiness skills. So what do I do so that I become a better employee? Then we need to also navigate. The other people who are important in this career, we call them stakeholders. They can help you identify, do some things. There are people like they can be individuals, groups, or institutions that influence or support or benefit career guidance services. So you need to identify them according to the need or the purpose. Identify all parties involved in career guidance. As I said, the industry players and the major stakeholders whom we can have as students and learners, who are the primary beneficiaries. You need to know their needs. Parents, they provide emotional, moral, financial, and so forth. So we work with them. And then teachers, they identify strengths. They help you nurture learners. Career counselors who gives career counseling. Alumni, that they share career experience, mentorship, and some resources. The employers, government ministries that help you understand policies, universities and colleges that help you provide information on courses, admission, and career pathway, professional bodies that regulate the behavior and the practice, NGOs, religious organizations, media, and so forth. Then how do you map them? Identify the stakeholder after identifying the need and categorize them. So I think because of time, I want to move to the finally. Why do we need to have an effective career guidance and counseling? That was actually the theme. It helps us to bridge the skills gap. So that is a mismatch between what the students are learning and what the employers want. As we coordinate between employers and universities, we are able to understand the skills that we need to give our learners for better employment. And then navigating choice overload. Often talk about the paradox of choice. When people are given too many options, they become anxious, paralyzed, and more likely to make a choice they regret. So career counselor acts as a filter. They help them to make their learners understand the needs and abilities. Maximizing human and economic potential. Again, this one is to help us bring out all the best. I have a case of a student who is a representative of Africa in Olympics. She came to my office in first year. She said, I've been called to do social work, but I like sports. What can I do? So I said, it's okay. When you are a social worker, meaning you can interact with communities, you can do many things and mobilize. So you are able to grow your skills and see how to affect the impact of the society. She accepted, went enrolled, and during the COVID 2020, she represented African in the Olympics. From there on, she became the champion of Olympics in Kenya, planting trees, and she was made an Olympian for life and eventually employed in the university. She is now undertaking a master's in creative arts and science and social and art, creative arts and sports. So again, we maximize our talent and match it together with the ability. So the role is that one, we are assessing so that we know and understand who you are before you decide what you want to do. We research the industry needs and then you ground aspirations in a realistic way. Decision making. You are given options and you overcome paralysis. You come to a path where you like employability preparation. We build you in coaching and other things so that you successfully transition from a candidate to an employee. I think I would go to the few requirements we need because of time. Key requirements of a school careers office. One is that you need formal establishment, and I think most schools have done that, or institutions. They set up an office mandated by TSC is one of the requirements, and we need to anchor it within the structures, and somebody is appointed formally. Then it needs a trained person. That's why we're here. We are not training, but we are doing sensitization. I'm sure by today you'll have a rough idea of what you're supposed to do. I've met with many participants who say the much they know is that they were given an office, they were given a chair, and they don't know much what to do next. They have a few brochures from maybe colleges. That is all. But we want you to have some basic understanding of what you need to do. Structured career guidance, so you're understanding as a coordinator, you understand how to link between TSC, the education, and other employers. And then the schools provide career education, counseling, and labor market information. Integration with CBC. Career offices must support students making early academic pathway decisions under the competence-based curriculum in terms of subject selection, career tracks, and vocational options. So we are there. We mediate, look for people who can help us in that. Community service. OCS coordinators must ensure proper teaching of community service learning, linking classroom with the real world skills. How do we turn around our value to schools? Policy framework alignment, align with the national policy framework for career guidance, where we are doing what is needed and is okay. So, essentials of a career office. One, we need a formal office set up as a system and ensure sustainability and accountability. The person appointed should be trained or empowered, at least skilled, so that they can do what is needed. Structured guidance, deliver counseling and information, that is career guidance, that's guiding them on information. CBC integration, ensure we are aligning what we are teaching our learners with the community needs. Implementation, link the job to practice, build real world skills. Policy framework and alignment. So like that's why we are planning career days for every school. And as we plan for that school, then it becomes an opportunity for you to implement the things you need to do. So you need an office and with a laptop. With this empowerment by Kenya Management Institute, with the colleges that are around, we will be able to help you anchor your feet on the ground and begin implementing. So you will help the school to identify the relevant resource persons so that you support each. So the challenges I know many of us are going through is lacking funds or facilities. Some don't have office space. Yet you're supposed to talk to students and counsel them. It becomes a challenge. Some of us are teachers. We are overloaded with subjects to teach. So by the time you finish the day, you are very tired. You can't have enough concentration. Equity, marginalized student risks being left behind without targeted support. And then those with specialized needs may not be attended to well. Without updated industry data, guidance may mislead. So we need to regularly, we will be having places where we learn from each other. So what is a step-by-step implementation? Designate a small room or shared space as an office for career service. Even a corner of a library or staff room can serve. Like me, I've been in place in the library. I just have an office there that I use. Appoint a coordinator, register them for training sessions offered by the TSC, the Ministry, Labor, and so forth. And then develop a career guidance program. That's why like we have needs. We've been doing that. Just like they are doing for guiding and counseling, you also need to identify at least maybe every fortnight or every week somebody who comes to address a need on issues of career. So we identify what are the students lacking that if they are given would help them to be more focused and more committed to their studies. So you create a simple weekly or monthly schedule for career talks. Use existing schools, assembly clubs, or guidance lessons to integrate career topics. Invite local professional alumni parents to share. Then leverage CPC pathway, align career guidance with competence. As people come, let much of it be emphasized and be strengthened. Help students understand subject choices and career pathways early. That as they understand, I want to be this, they must know what you need to do that. align, leverage, and then align services. That's organize community-based projects like environmental cleanup, farming initiatives, or health awareness campaign, and so forth. Resource mobilization, partner with the county government or other interested parties to support you, where they can donate books, posters, mentorship time. People can volunteer to come and talk, and then monitor the process, the progress. That is it. So setup, training, program launch, integration, and implementation. So I think that's what we can address for now. I don't want to go to career disruptions. So up to now, so that I have time to respond to any issues that people feel like presenting. Steve.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ari, for taking us through that very important session where you have actually unpacked what we really need to set up the Office of Career Services in our learning institution. Now, we will take a few questions and we will take a few questions like 5, and then Daktari will actually respond to the questions. Will 5 do, Daktari?
Yeah, I'd respond to as many as they wish. Just write down
Yeah,
and then
because
we.
of time, I know because the webinar may actually close.
Sure.
So,
Let's begin with the first 5 or 3. Then if there's
yes,
time, we do that.
we do 3. Some kindly you can actually assign our participants so that they can actually raise their questions, and you give them rights to unmute, and then they raise their concerns. I can see we have over 60, almost 70 requests by participants to raise their concerns. Sam, over to you.
Hey, thank you, Bwana Choge. You can see the first one is Bwana Dalton Kirui. Bwana Dalton, can you go ahead and ask the question? Bwana Kirui.
Kiru, you can unmute.
Unmute and talk. I think you've been given the rights.
Dalton Kirui. Okay, if he is not able to unmute, maybe we can go to Hussein Chitcheti. Hussein, Bwana Hussein, can you unmute?
Unmute and raise your concern or your question.
Yes, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Hussein, or it's so loaded that they can't ask. We might also look at those maybe we're typing. If there are any typed
move on, Sam, to somebody else.
Okay, Bwana Charles Rotich. Bwana Charles.
Charles Rotich, please unmute. Charles, unmute.
Yes, I think he has unmuted. Yes, Charles. Charles, speak.
He has just unmuted, then he is not talking anything.
Are they able to text? I encourage them also to text. We could read some right from the chat box.
Maybe we choose a different gender. Lydia Makori. Madam Lydia.
Lydia, if you're hearing us, you can unmute and ask.
Lydia, if you can hear us, please unmute and then you ask your question.
Lydia Makori.
Lydia, you've been given a chance. Your hand is up. Yes? Wow. Is there any on the chat box? We could find out if there's any they have written.
Charles Rotich's hand is still up. Rotich, can you unmute? Rotich, Charles, kindly.
Dangras Oporia, can you go ahead?
Douglas,
Amepotea.
Douglas is not able to unmute, even
Maybe
after
we
we
choose
have given
another.
you the rights.
Maybe we choose another person. Mercy Kavita. Mercy, can you go ahead? Mercy Kavita.
Maybe they are not even aware that they have actually raised up their hands. Let's move on to somebody else, please. Any other person?
Or maybe I lower all the hands.
Yeah, just lower all the hands so that we can actually give chance to 2 or 3 of them.
There are many of them.
Could they also text? We have a chat box. We could read if there are any, because I only saw that hello, good evening. There's those who started at the beginning, but we
Bwana
could.
Rotich, your hand is still up. Okay.
Julia Odondo, can you go ahead?
Unmute, please. Ododo, Julia.
Yes,
Hello?
Julia. Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yeah, we
Quite
can
well.
hear you well.
Mm.
Oh, I'm saying career guidance is a very key in CBC that we are teaching. So I was asking if it is possible that people be brought on the ground so that it is not only done to a few teachers, because some of the schools have very many learners, and it would not be possible for just one teacher maybe to take care of all of them. So maybe we can, if possible, you can bring people on the ground, train teachers, give teachers maybe a 2 or 3 days training so that it reaches many people, to allow us to reach also many learners on the ground. Hello?
Hello, we can hear you.
Mm.
Okay. I'm through.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Timothy
much.
Muragi.
I can. All Kachemweno, go ahead. Okay, mute him. Noel, you can unmute.
Mwawasi.
Mwawasi Noel. See, we have any other question before I hand over the mic to Daktari to respond to that question? Any other?
Lucy
Okay, over to
Kariuki.
you, Daktari. No, I can see Lucy. Lucy.
Yes, Lucy Kariuki.
Go ahead, Lucy. Lucy Kariuki, please go ahead, ask your question. You have muted again. So over to you, Daktari.
Well, I thought what Julia was it was more of a request, because she said that career guidance is a very key ingredient for the CBE implementation. So she feels that now Kemi and other parties like us should plan not only to train one teacher, but of course we need to begin with one who is designated as the OCS, empower them, but then after that we will come on board, we'll try to reach many other teachers who can support, because I know actually, like I have a school in Bongoma, in Moi DB, with a population of over 3,500 children from the preschool to junior. So I think that can be overwhelming. So Choge, that becomes a good problem for us. We can do phased training. We can ensure first level we cover the OCSs, and then the next level the schools can give us other support staff, other teachers who can help us in the same assignment. We train them as well, so we can have continuous empowerment, so that a school has at least 3, 4. They can always identify around 4 people. We continue training in different phases, so that the gospel is well shared, and they're able to share the responsibility. So that is a good request. How do you
Bwana
see that?
Choge,
Yeah,
there is a good
that
question.
is.
Bwana Choge,
Yes,
Yes.
go on, Sam.
there is a good question from Madam Susan Mwagi at the chat. Can I read it?
Yes,
Yeah.
go ahead.
How do you help learners that are seriously struggling in math and yes insist on STEM pathway, their ability and interest not matching?
Very good question there, Daktari.
Well, I think there's been this misconception of glorifying some pathways or careers as an end to our success. That's why I began by saying that success is not about the career you do. Success has everything to do with doing what you are able to do ably well, because you have the ability, you have the strength, and the competence. So we need to make people know that by virtue that you are on the STEM pathway does not mean that you are already on the way to success. As you are moving to the university, you might realize that now as you come in the STEM, you want to do engineering, the mathematics there is complex, the physics is complex. So you need to appreciate the fact that the end of the career is not just the path. It is true you can participate, but for you to be crowned, you need more effort. So there's been that conception kwamba if you do STEM pathway, you'll be very okay. No, I have no issue, but everything should be anchored in terms of your ability. It begins with you. Do you feel competent? Do you feel motivated, passionate to do that? Because if you have the necessary innate abilities, supporting you becomes easier than when you are struggling with something that you are completely unable to do. So I don't want people to be pressured to imagine that a particular pathway is better just by virtue of being told. Examine your interests, examine your abilities, and go for that which you know. If you did, you will be happy, you will be more productive, and you will feel fulfilled. Just like sports, if you cannot be told the sports pays and you don't have the talent, you can't be Wanyonyi just by admiring him. If you are Wanyonyi by running, you find that you learn, you are mentored by him to run, and you do it. So there is that misconception that STEM is the best. It can only be the best for those who are gifted for it. But there's no other pathway that is also bad. Depends on your ability. That's why we began by self-awareness, self-understanding. It is very critical to anything else. I don't know whether that responds to you.
I believe so, Daktari. I believe so.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there is still any other question.
Yeah, we still have 5 more minutes they can ask.
4 minutes, but still we have I have my colleagues on board,
Okay.
so we
Yeah.
need also to spare some few minutes for them to say a word.
Well advised.
Yes. So if there is no other question, kindly, I've heard your concern, and it is something that we've been planning for so long, and especially for the training of teachers on career guidance and counseling. I don't know if Dr. Arodi is on board so that you can say a word and maybe you say something on the training of career guidance and counseling teachers still. Dr. Arodi, if you are on board. Dr. Chev Arodi?
Hello, Bwana Choge. I think
Yes.
Daktari has just stepped outside of the meeting to attend another meeting.
Yeah, I know he has another meeting. So I
So he
believe,
excuses himself.
thank you so much. Dr. Grace Gatundu, if you are around. Dr. Grace Gatundu, maybe if you can raise your hand so that we can actually trace where you are. Sam, assist me to trace Dr. Grace.
Daktari, she is not around. I've searched her.
Yeah. She also had another meeting before joining this one here.
Yeah, I think she is in another meeting.
Yes. Any other staff from Kenya Education Management Institute?
Not really. We cannot see another staff.
I'd seen Aquila at some point, but I know he has also left for another meeting.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, team. And let me give Dr. Wafula to give his parting shot. Dr. Ari, over to you.
Thank you very much. And I want to believe that the maximum joy and true happiness is only found to a man or a woman who is doing a career they are tailored and wired to do. Let's endeavor to make our children enjoy their best by living their passion, aligning their work with their destiny and their passion. So we'll continue interacting. I think now that we even have a YouTube page, many other questions that would be there we can respond and answer. But those who would wish to get to me, they can just like my page, Dr. Wafula-THE Mentor. That was on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Then I can respond to if there's anything we can share. But I think on our page, the YouTube, that is Kemi, you can read out the YouTube page, please. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ari, for that wonderful presentation on how to mentor our young people and at the same time how to have an effective office of career guidance in our schools in the basic education in Kenya. Sam, do you have any message to our participants?
No, Bwana Choge, I'm okay.
Thank you so much. To our dear participants, thank you so much for joining the webinar this evening. And I believe there is something that we can say it is at a home, and especially in matters to do with career guidance and counseling. And we are also planning another session that will actually communicate, but this will be for another cadre, maybe the deputies in our institutions. But I will share with the management your request that we need a training, but I'll be sure the Ministry of Education and Kenya Education Management Institute is planning for countrywide trainings like these ones that we'll do from time to time. At least every month we will be having such trainings. So let me request one of you to pray for us before the webinar closes. One of you, please. Please, Sam, pick one of us to.
Daisy Olalo. Daisy is lifted her hand.
Daisy, you can go ahead.
Go ahead, Daisy.
We are praying.
Yes.
Thank you, God, for the time you have given us, for the information we have shared. Thank you for the facilitators. Thank you for everything. Be with the facilitators, be with the trainers, be with all the teachers. teachers as we are going ahead to give the career guidance to our learners, both in primary, junior, and secondary schools. Help us in whatever we are doing, in everything that we are going to do, and every stakeholder that starts in this unit. Be with everybody. I ask that, believing and trusting in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Daisy. And have a blessed evening, team.
Thank you,
God bless you.
participants, and thank you for partnering with God to shape destinies. We celebrate you. Blessed evening.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Thank you, my
Jioni njema.
brother Steve. God bless.